Hey, this is former WWE superstar and ECW original, The Blue Meanie. And you're watching the Tell Us About Yourself show on Foxworthy 257. Now, if you're looking to watch a show about people who play the Super Show wrestling card and dice game, I highly recommend it. The Blue Meanie told you! The Blue Meanie sent you to watch Foxworthy 257, or else I'll come get you.
My name is Brian Pillman Jr., and you are watching Tell Us About Yourself, only on Foxworthy 257 Twitch channel.
Hi guys, I'm Session Martina, and you are watching Tell Us About Yourself on Foxworthy 257 on Twitch. I'm going to get some cans. Are you going to get cans and watch with me?
All right, folks, we are live with another episode of Tell Us About Yourself. We had to take a week off after the boss was on because, he wrecks things in the crime wave. But we are back with our guest, Master MICAH of the Dangerous Wool Order. And hosting with me this week is the Candyman. So, how are you all doing today?
Doing pretty good. How are you guys doing?
Doing well.
Not bad. All right, well, the Evil Ed is in the house, and with a flurry of questions to start off, like the world-famous cheese or pickle.
Well, since, my lactose thing, I can't really do a lot of cheeses.
Ooh.
Don't mind the pickles either, but, I do like a nice Swiss cheese and pickle. It's always good on a sandwich.
And now that TJ Marconi is Pickle Club for life, everyone should like pickles. He follows it up with sheep or fox.
Oh, man. Fox has
Wool
been
Order.
there since the beginning of my career pretty much here in the SRG. We've hung out, we've talked, but, man, Polka has been there also getting me to be a better player. So I like both of them. I can't choose one or the other. So I'm going to have to say both.
You got to pick a sheep because you can shave a sheep, but you really shouldn't shave a fox, I don't think.
No, man. I got enough foxes in my backyard. I don't need one to try to shave them.
Yeah. All right. Someone by the name of Nico would like to know cat with sunglasses or dog. I think it's just cat in general, but
it's dog. I mean, if you, some people have seen my big old white deaf dog. Like a teenager, doesn't listen to me, but she has a reason why she can't listen to me. The others don't.
That's fair. I mean, they have a reason too. They just don't like your authority.
Oh no, she's deaf. She can't hear it.
Well, I was talking about the kids.
Oh, that one too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Selective hearing.
Teenagers. Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of Kirk Polka, he would like to know pineapple or sheep.
Man, again, it's hard to choose between those two because I love pineapple. I've had pineapple, and last year I had the pink pineapple, that little Douglas from Costa Rica. Is awesome. Okay. I've also had a real Hawaiian pineapple. I mean, it can't get any better than the sweetness that you get from the Hawaiian pineapple versus the Costa Rican pineapple. But, I'm not a big, Matt Nealon, I know you're probably a great cuddler, but I'm just not into that. So I'm going to have to go with Polka here in the sheep.
Yeah, I mean, lamb, mutton, all come from sheep.
Man, you can smoke that. You can eat it. It's all good.
Yeah. I mean, can you really smoke lamb? Like,
yeah, if
roll
you want
it up
to.
and make a...
Well, not that type of smoking, but ask the collector. He might be able to tell you what you can and can't not smoke.
Yeah, he probably has a line on some things that you can smoke. All right.
Absolutely.
Evil Head would also know, who would you like to play in person?
Man, I've to be honest, I started in isolation. I never really played anybody at all before I played my first matches on Super Show. So my first person I ever played on Super Show was Andrew Mackey, and that was my first match ever also in a Super Show game. So that was awesome back in last year in June. My first time I actually got to play in person was against some of my best friends that got me into the game, and that was like 3 weeks ago, or not 3 weeks ago. It was the end of June when we finally got a chance to sit down and play. So if I was to get a chance to play anybody in person that I've met online, man, I like to play everybody because some people are great, and there's a few that I wouldn't mind playing that I'll just pass on. I'm not gonna get grumpy about it, but no, man, I would love to to play Fox. I love to play Ange. In fact, I love to actually sit across the table from Dan and Polka and Kurt Pate and Sean and just actually meet them face to face and talk shop.
How was it
Even
playing in
Mallory.
person?
Man, it's weird. You got this
Yeah.
thing where you actually have to throw dice instead of dropping them into a tower, or
Yeah.
so it's kind of get this whole dice tossing thing going down. But it's a total different game when you play in person because you can see if your opponent's bluffing or not.
Yep. And then just being able to check the discard pile openly. It's just.
You can do that. I don't touch the cards at all, man. I'm serious. I
Yeah.
won't touch them, and I'll just keep
say,
on
do
playing.
you mind if I look through your discard pile? And they're like, sure. Saves
I
a lot
also
of
gotta
time.
I just gotta remind myself when somebody taps your deck, you can't cut it for yourself. You just gotta take it like it is. I did that a couple of times where I cut it like, okay, and they're like, no, Mike, you can't do that. And I'm like, oh, sorry. Just not used to people able to
Right.
do it or not, you know.
I
Yeah,
know.
there's been a few times I auto cut my deck after shuffling it. Like, oh wait, no, you can do
Yeah.
that if you want. But it's one of those things that obviously before the online era I didn't ever bother doing. So it was just because I played so much online. I do that now too occasionally. But I'm getting back since I don't really play online right now. I'm getting back used to playing in person. It's a lot more fun.
It's fun. Yeah,
Right.
it's so fun.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Let's see. Big Jim Bias is coming out of retirement to ask the question. Do you know who El Super Jimbre is?
You know, I stumbled upon Ryan's pop-up show this Sunday. I met this masked wrestler named El Super Jimbre. He sounded like a nice guy. I mean, he was pretty cool. I was surprised he was in Ohio area and that no one else knew about him. And I told him to get out quick because in Ohio they corrupt you really quickly if you're not careful.
Yeah. I've heard that. No one likes Ohio either. Like, no one wants to go to Ohio. No one. All right. So you touched on friends getting you in the game. So how did you come about that you got into Super Show?
Well, I was watching a stream with a local shop that I go to. It's called the Covenant. They were doing some old games because they were trying to get people still interested in discovering games and playing because during this isolation it's kind of hard to keep a business running. So they did the best they could, and they started bringing out some old raw deal stuff. And I was in the chat, talking about like this is what you because they just bringing back the old stuff because I grew up, not grew up, but I played raw deal, and these were some of the friends I played with. We've been playing card games for about 30 years together, so I mean that's how long our card game history has gone. It's almost to 30 years now. And so they told me about SRG, and they told me to go check out the website. Back then, it wasn't the Super Show; it was some other website, which is a little harder to find. So, and I'm kind of glad they changed the name because it made it a little easier. But they told me to go check out a couple of guys online and tell me who I wanted, and they try to get me the cards I need to play. And I saw this OG Mr. Snap, where if you play Finger Snap or a Snap or Finger Lock or a Snap, something that you discard a card from your hand, and that kind of reminded me of old Chris Jericho when he played. All right, he can discard a card to make your opponent discard a card. So instead of having to lose a card out of my hand, I played a card to make you lose it. So it's like, oh, I could play that. And then I saw this man from IT that learned how to protect himself when he ruled his lowest stat. So, and it was kind of fun also discarding her opponent's cards that he needed in order to get going. So
Yeah.
that's where I started with those.
Yeah, Covenant. I think they're big into Flesh and Blood too, because I've watched their YouTube ones for that.
Oh yeah, it's growing huge during the pandemic. That's one of their newest favorite games. So.
Hi guys.
Yeah. So I have heard of them. All right. So Kirk Polka would like to know who's your favorite Rack Pack member, and everyone knows it should be Shady Jeff now.
Man.
Correction. So Shady Jeff is not in the Rack Pack. Shady Jeff is on our Faction Wars team. What?
No.
Announcement. We are female only.
Me and Angela played in the online league before the Rack Pack formed. We got to know each other. She doesn't like my Mr. Snap, and I don't like her El Super Hombre.
Yeah.
We pretty much killed each other entire game back and back, and then it was a squash match. Whoever got the roll of the dice the highest won, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's how we met. But me and Yasmin met through unfortunate events in one of Chuggy's events with the infamous backseat Super Show. So I mean, it was. I mean, but both Yasmin and Angela, I've got to know a little better than the other ladies. Sorry, ladies, I haven't got to know you yet. Haven't really had a conversation, so I can't really say I have a favorite. But Angela's trying to get me out of my introvert zone right now by making me or asking me to do this today. So I appreciate that. And Yasmin has always been awesome to talk to because she's just laid back and cool. If you ever get a chance to just
She
shoot the
is.
breeze.
She's probably the easiest one out of all of us to just have a conversation with and just
I remember
talk about
hanging out
anything.
in a hotel room with a few of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not gonna talk about that, Jeff.
Yeah,
Whatever happens in Ohio is gonna stay there.
I wish that were true.
Yeah,
There's a
but
lot of things in
there's a
Ohio I
lot of
don't
things
want
that
to
come
ever
out of
leave.
Ohio you don't want
Yeah.
to remember, but unfortunately, it's
Normally,
not
it's
that
the
yet.
people. Uh, so Candyman, I mean, Phenomenal One says, "Boo, Jeff should be in the Rack Pack." So I don't know.
Well, he's the
Hey, Shady
pack to
Jeff.
the rack, I guess.
Yeah, Jeff has our back 100%, and we have
Oh
Jeff's
yeah.
back. So I'm gonna make it known here and right now. I know there's been a lot of talk. Jeff is trying. He's trying to change his ways. We need to all give him a fair chance, and that's all I'm gonna say about that.
Oh yeah. Good dude. We had fun this
Yeah.
weekend hanging out with him.
Yeah, that's right. You did
Yeah.
see him this weekend. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's trying. We're having fun. So,
Yeah.
Micah, I have a
Yes,
question
ma'am.
that I ask every week.
Uh-oh.
And this might be difficult for you because we're in the same show together. But
Uh-oh.
would you pick Candyman Dan or Candy Ma'am? And
You
you
know,
can
I'm a
be honest.
backer of the. You know, I back the Candy Fam. I
I
always, but Dan did something that shocked me, and he reached out to me after my match against Sal in the Rising Stars, and just said, "Dude, that was a tough loss. You did great. I mean, because I was just one card away, and then just couldn't get the die rolled to win that. But him just reaching out to me, and he didn't even really know me that much. I mean, we
Mhm.
only talked a couple of times between me and Ange, and then Dan was in there doing the league, and we were talking. But him just reaching out to me that meant a lot to me. It kind of made me understand I was actually part of the family then at that time. And
Oh, did you
Ange
ever tell
and
him that?
Dan, no, I haven't. He's just hearing it right now.
Oh, that's really sweet. I think it's important to tell people when they can like make an impact on you or make you feel good. Like that's the type of stuff that we should be telling each other every day. And that sounds so corny,
We definitely
but
shouldn't
like,
worry about impact. So.
yeah, I didn't
Boom,
mean
boom.
to say that.
Yeah, when you're making an impact by kicking your best friends out of your faction and like lying about what spectacles they need, that's how you make an impact in the LFF.
It's true.
Oh,
All
uh,
right, so you choose Dan. I get it.
no,
I'm
I
okay
choose the
with that.
fam. The
That was a
fam.
good answer.
all right. So we should go to Canoli's. Used to be Canoli's standard question, but he hasn't been around in a while. Three favorite male wrestlers and three favorite female wrestlers.
Man, I'm old school. When it comes to wrestling, I like some of the old school wrestlers. One of my favorite was Ravishing Rick Rude when he hit you with the Rude Awakening. I mean, watching his old stuff in NWA, still on YouTube. I mean, the guy was jacked. I mean, he was awesome back then. I mean, his mic skills you could see from when it improved to the time that he was with King Kong Bundy and stuff like that. And you can also another great one is Ted DiBiase. That was a worker. He can make any match into a 5-star match. He made anybody he was in the ring with look better than what they really were. I mean, him and IRS, or I guess that would be Bray's dad, Mike Rotunda, were always great workers. But when it comes down to it, I still got my WCW boys, and one of my favorites, and he's still going today, is that Jericho. I mean, I've watched him since he was a kid, basically. I watched some of his old stuff in New Japan when he was a Lionheart, and then watching and what hurt me was when I was watching the Vice about Chris Benoit, because Chris Benoit was one of my favorites. The guy was phenomenal. He was a good person, but man, the head injuries and the painkillers and stuff like that led him down a dark hole that we all should watch out for. Because I mean, today, I mean, you got like Richard Sherman who had a car wreck and then went crazy wife family, they had to call the cops because he was drunk and stuff. Well, that's considered the brain damage that he impacted his head. That's things like that are important to watch out for because head injuries are no joke.
Yeah.
They've led to a lot of people. Dynamite Kid even told Benoit to stop doing the headbutt off the top rope because he's going to end up hurting himself. And Benoit loved Dynamite Kid growing up, so they were. And Harley Race even told people to stop doing it after a while
Yep.
because they were just getting screwed up. But the three women, going back to that, I loved Ivory and Right to Censor. She could go. Victoria was one of my favorite unknown. All right, I guess after a while she became more popular, but when she was in OVW, she was just a dominant force. And she showed that even women could have great strength and just dominate their opponents. I think she did a great job. And then one of my other favorites is Molly Holly. She was a great worker too. She put on great matches every time she was out there. She deserves to be in the Hall of Fame for WWE.
Oh yeah, and she is also one of the most influential in the current women's wrestling scene too. Like almost every single
She wasn't about
women's
the look;
wrestler,
she was about the
yeah,
wrestling. Yeah.
almost every single women's wrestler these days talks about how much they Molly Holly influenced them, which is a great thing when you think about it.
Now, I also have I do appreciate Juventud Guerrero, so I'm looking forward to tomorrow's match between Chris Jericho and Juventud. But I also liked Kidman. Kidman was one of those talents that just flew under the radar. When he was with Ravens Flock, the 7-year itch, even though it is still Shooting Star Press,
Yes.
one of the best in the games. And that guy proved he was a better wrestler than most of what the product was in WWE also when he came over.
It's hard to say Kidman's Shooting Star Press was better than other people. It
Well, at the
was,
time, he was the
yeah, at the
best.
time. Well, even then, like there's people in Japan who did it better because his always looked a little sloppy, but it looked sloppy in the right way. Like
Right.
that's the
Well, it's
thing.
kind
Like
of got that grunge thing look for him.
yeah,
So, I
so
guess,
it worked for it, but like
right.
picture perfect wise,
Well, my access to Japanese wrestling hasn't really become prevalent until YouTube really started to become more
mhm,
available to me.
yeah,
So I didn't see a lot of the older stuff.
yeah, oh
So I
yeah, it was very
consider,
hard tape trading.
right.
I
So
mean,
for me, Kidman was one of the
yeah,
best in that maneuvers, and he was also one of those gifted, talented wrestlers that wasn't really given a fair shot or chance, I think.
mhm,
And I'm a guy that likes the technical wrestling. I don't like a lot of the spot monkey stuff. I'm not a big fan of Sammy Guevara or even the Young Bucks because I believe they're too much of a spot monkeys, and they're going to hurt people if they don't do it right. And that's the problem with those. When you go the high risk, high reward, you also risk hurting your fellow wrestlers. Samoa Joe, his filibuster is one of the most impactful looking, or not, I'm sorry, I'm using the stupid word that John Paul Reno is going to probably make me pay for. But anyways, his filibuster is one of the best moves I've seen. And
Muscle
then when he
Buster.
hurt somebody, he stopped doing it.
It's the Muscle Buster.
Muscle Buster. I'm sorry, they call it filibuster in SRG.
Yep.
Sorry,
Yeah.
using the
He's used it once or twice since because it wasn't actually that actually hurt the person.
right. It was other
But
things that
yeah,
led up to it.
yeah,
I
there's
understand. It's
other factors, but yeah.
but he respects the his opponent. He's not going to put him in something he's not that they're not willing to do.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it's really his choice though. I don't know if it's him and his opponent's choice or mandated from the company he works for choice. It is a company
Right.
that's known for banning things for
And keeping you down to 6 move sets
yeah.
whatsoever. Yeah.
Hence why for years because Billy Kidman messed up a shooting star press, no one was allowed to do a shooting star press.
Oh, I thought Brock Lesnar messed that up, not him.
Brock Lesnar did mess it up once, but Billy Kidman's the one that got it put on the ban list.
Oh, okay.
And then it took 4 or 5 years until Evan Bourne, Matt Sydal,
Right.
had to show he could do it right like 20 times in a row in a practice for them to actually let it back on.
Yeah, speaking of Evan Bourne, going back to those things, Neville, the bastard Pac.
Yeah.
That guy has changed everything since he was in WWE to AEW. That guy looks like he'd kill me if I looked at him the wrong way on the street. The guy is just pure muscle now.
Yes. He absolutely is.
He's an awesome wrestler too.
Yeah.
He looks like he's going to kill everybody with that the Black Star, and then the rings, his modified Rings of Saturn. I mean, Perry Saturn looked like he's going to kill you too when he did it, because the old joke with
I mean, he
what is
could.
it?
Army Ranger.
King said he can look at you 2 different ways without, or he can watch a tennis match without moving his head.
Yeah. Yeah, a former Army Ranger.
Yeah.
Saturn was legit. All right.
Another member of the flock. You gotta love the flock.
All right. So Kirk Polka would like to know who is the leader of the line, and this is Kirk Polka asking his own faction leader.
Well, we know the truth, Polka. It's the guy with the flag, the guy with the crazy mustache, and the guy that thinks he's the sweetest dessert on earth. But we know it's a little lies there is okay, but we know it's cannoli.
We want it to be cannoli.
Oh,
We
it
know.
is.
We
He does
know
more
it.
lines than anybody. I mean, oh, I'm sorry. He is
Yeah.
the line.
I mean,
We know
definitely loves his
it's
lines.
Harry, but cannoli is the brains behind the operation.
No, actually,
Harry
Foxworthy is
gets
the
the
brains
credit.
behind him.
Cannoli does the thinking.
Actually, the brains is Foxworthy. It's always been Foxworthy when it comes to brains.
Fox is pretty smart. I have a question. So, in your faction, who is the most high maintenance? Who just give us the tea, give us the scoop. Who's the most annoying in DWO? You can't
It
hear
must
me?
be having a microphone. I must be hearing something wrong. There must be a microphone issue.
For people who don't read lips, he said Ricky Riot.
That's what I thought.
I did not say anything.
We people can read lips. They're all saying it in chat because they read your lips. Yeah. So
It's Ange.
Okay, who has the best beard? And you can't choose yourself.
Oh man, I can't choose myself.
No.
You know, Chris Pate does have a pretty good, I think, beard going for himself.
Well,
I mean, he has the luck of being less curly. Mine is more of a curly, so it's fuller than longer than it should be. But you know,
Kirk Polka is saying Sean.
well, I haven't seen Sean's beard. I've seen like his shoulders, his chest, and his hat, but I never really see his beard because he has it covered up with a mask. You know, he's always collecting masks and covering up his beard, so I can't see it.
A full beard.
Fair. That's fair. I mean, you got to meet these people in person someday.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. It's they are fun people. All right. So. All right, we're getting close to 7. People have some questions. Feel free to hit up the chat or use the raise hand feature in Zoom as my head disappears because of the green screen and whatnot. All right, so last year you were a contender for the Rising Star.
Right.
What award, if you could win any award, what award do you think you would want to win this year?
Man. See, I'm not sure. I mean, I've done well. I'm middle of the pack. I mean, I've done 3 tournaments this year. I've topped at least 5 or 6 that I know of that I remember, because I'm not tracking like I used to. I'm just here to have fun now. I enjoy the games while I can. I try to make sure I put on a good match with everybody I play against. You know, I try not to sweat the small stuff. You know, and I think I've grown since last year. But when it comes down to it, I mean, just the fact that I had one chance at the Deep South. I think I could use another chance or 2, but right now I know that's Harry's time to shine with it, and when he's ready to drop it, I'm sure he'll drop it to somebody that's worthy of it. If not, I'll take it from him.
With the Deep South, I mean, it's pretty easy to get a total shot. You just have to be willing to go to Ohio, the deepest of the South.
Well, okay, that's funny. Now, let's talk about this. Okay, Deep South champion leaves the country, can't challenge him. When he comes back, he goes to another place that's not in his region to have challengers. So he's avoiding something.
Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean he's going to another place to take challengers?
He's going to Ohio.
He's going to Ohio.
He's going to be at Pixel Pandemonium, and he will defend the Deep South title in person there against someone there who earns
against someone who lives in Ohio, or someone from the South that's also traveling to
He's
Ohio?
supposed to be from the South, and if anybody shows up from the South, they get to be put into a birdcage with them.
But
so if there's only
knows
polkas
what's
there,
gonna
it's going to be Polka and and Harry in the birdcage.
Or
Okay.
who knows? They'll just throw in Ohio people and can tell him that's the Deep South now. We don't know how Chibi will run things. He's a crooked GM anyway.
Well, aren't all the GMs in the Deep South crooked though?
Well, Harry's
Because
not
you got the
crooked.
guy that wants to run Paradise, and he's
Harry's
trying to
not,
steal
but Harry
will
can't
and deal.
actually, because he has the title, can't make any decisions at the moment,
Right.
which is the problem. They need
Too
more
bad
Deep South
Cannoli's not in
GMs.
the Deep South. I'm sure the Cannoli could get that belt up there.
He's in Ohio, so who knows? It might happen.
South Ohio, I guess, would count as for the Deep South
Yeah,
Championship.
though I
then?
think he's in North Ohio. But
Oh, then he
still.
can't do it because he's not in South
You
Ohio.
know what? Yasmin probably could have gotten that belt off of Harry while she lived
Yasmin,
in Texas, and now
she's going to get the MCW title. Give her
yeah,
a
now
chance,
she's
she'll get it.
gonna go.
MWC title.
Yeah, MWC. Sorry, I said MCW, didn't I?
Yeah, a few people have been posting that, and it's like, wait, what?
Mid-Con West.
Yeah,
what?
well, if she goes for the MWC title, make sure she has a bootlegger in her hand, because all those shovels and loaded gut punches and chairs that the champion likes to throw around to keep his title.
Yeah. Only friends hit friends with chairs, right? Or is that no? Michael says what friend would hit somebody with a chair? That's right.
Yeah. Yep.
He's not much of a friend if he hits you with the chair. Remember that.
Yep. Earthquake, the dirtiest players in the game, apparently.
Well, now, yeah, since Finland's there.
So, Evil Ed would like to know what belt would you want to go for in the SRG?
Man, Mechie's been there. Like I said, my first match I ever had with Mechie. It was his OG or my OG snap versus his new snap. First round, first tournament ever. I just outdiced him, and that's the pain that me and Mechie have when we play against each other. He's been outdiced many times by me. He actually beat me recently, but he had to have a line tag team member to do it. So
Did he really?
his tag team is 2 line members versus a guy and another guy that never knew each other. So the chemistry wasn't there, but the line was there. He finally got his win, but it wasn't his dice that helped him win. It was Ken Fouché, because Ken Fouché outdices me all the time, and so it seems like a weird circle situation there. But I think it's time that Hitman, Harm City Hitman, finds another challenger besides the mouth of Las Vegas.
Yeah, Eddie Fury is going to be holding on to that title shot for a long time, I think, because I don't think he really.
Well, the mouth of Vegas should be number 1 contender anyways. I mean, come on. If you're going to have someone to ramp up a belt's worth and to get people excited about it, you got to have a mouthpiece. And he's the best mouthpiece in the SRG on the West Coast right now.
Yes, he is definitely the best. That discounts Hollywood, though.
Well, I hardly ever seen Hollywood. I've only met Hollywood. I've only seen Hollywood once. And
Yeah,
he was on the Talk of the Universe, and it was just that other voice with those other voices. They all sound similar.
He's very exclusive in who he deals with. So,
Yeah.
Hollywood only comes out for certain times, and the red carpet fee for Hollywood's pretty expensive. He's out making movies with Tom Cruise and stuff. What can you do?
That's what I agree with that. I feel like we need to see more promos from the champs.
And there's another the brains in the line that's talking right now. Allergy. He's the quiet one of the group.
Yeah. And who literally pointed out the same thing I did, is that Hollywood's very expensive.
Absolutely.
Young Allergy, I wouldn't say is quiet.
Well, from what he
I would say
shows,
he does. Yeah, to you. Yeah, I mean, the guy is.
I don't know. Have you ever played a game against him? He doesn't shut up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I play against him all the time.
Especially with Mad Custodian, the two of them. Forget it.
Yeah. Oh, they're little chatty Cathys together.
Oh yeah. It's so fun though playing against us too.
Yeah, good guys. All right.
Yeah. Me and Allergy had a few conversations in the past. We're cool.
Oh yeah, Allergy's awesome.
He's the one that actually sent me my first welcome to the SRG package.
Yep, the true leader of the line, Young Allergy.
He sent me Adam Page and a Lawman Nick.
Oh.
I can't think of Young Allergy.
I wish he would send you someone good.
Oh, he sent me Boy Howdy also.
Oh, that's good.
I almost won a tournament with that Boy Howdy too, though.
Yeah.
Fox, can I swear on this stream?
I think you fucking can.
Only if you're an adult.
So I have a story about Young Allergy, and I think I've told him this before, but I was playing against Bob Dunn, and I was using Young Allergy's entrance as my entrance card, and I beat Bob Dunn using that, and he got really upset and called. And he goes, "Yep, you can thank DJ Fuckface for that." So ever since he called Young Allergy DJ Fuckface, that's all I think of now. Every time I see Young Allergy, I think of Bob Dunn getting so pissed off and saying, "DJ Fuckface." And I was like, "I'm sorry."
Well, at least Bob knew Allergy's name. Neko didn't know it for the longest time.
So here's the thing: Nico just bullies Allergy.
Yes, she does.
That's the real problem there. It's a very hostile bullying. A
Oh, wow.
full-grown adult woman like her shouldn't be bullying a young Allergy like that.
Maybe that's her thing.
Could be. Uh,
We're learning
DJ
more about other
Fuckface.
people here today.
Well, the beautiful thing about the entrance is that I think it has Candyman Dan on it. So I think it's
It
Young
does
Allergy and
indeed.
Candyman Dan.
It does indeed.
I think it has one of the twins on there. I'm not sure exactly which one
Yeah.
because, you know,
Yeah,
I
Wonder
think there
Twins
might be a slight
dice
height
powers
difference on some
activate.
of them.
All right. So if you were to go for the tag team titles in SRG, who would you have to team up with?
Man, I've been teaming up with Mechie the last couple of seasons, but it seems like our dice don't cooperate with each other because we never tag, it seems like. But yet we can still find a way to win. It's a struggle. And when people are just tagging and tagging, I still wouldn't mind finding that tag team partner that I can just, our dice hit, roll, go, and move on. But I've tagged with Cannoli, I've tagged with Mechie, I've tagged with one of the new guys up in Angela's neighborhood. I forget his name, and I do apologize. That's one when the line rolled me over.
Which one? Swaggy? Dari?
Not Swaggy. He's
Gaijin?
Mark?
not Gaijin. It's not Mark.
Brian?
Man,
Ryan?
you're putting me on the spot, and I'm trying to remember. I
Oh,
don't know if I had it written down. I know I like to write down names of my opponents or
Brett?
teammates.
Brett the Metalhead?
No, it's not Brett the Middlehead because that guy, I know him.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but he's
Let's
also
see.
new.
Yeah, he's new like that Matt Nealon guy was up in Ohio last year. That's now supposedly Matt Pineapple says he's in jail, so I don't know how that went.
Yeah, Matt Nealon I think is a creepy guy. So actually we have a question from the Nightmare King.
What's up, though, man? And Mr. Jeff, you took the words out of my mouth, man. I normally ask him that question.
No, you ask usually about the real wrestling. I'm asking about SRG.
Okay.
Different question.
Well,
Well, you can ask a
anyways,
different one, Mikey.
no, it's all good. I just asked, Mr. Mechie here or Mechie. Sorry if I
Oh.
get your name wrong, man.
No, it's Micah.
No, it's Micah.
Okay, Micah. Okay, Micah. My bad, man. My bad. Just got a couple questions to ask you, sir.
Okay.
One of them is if you went to any company, and you were going after a tag team titles shot, like you were going after a tag team titles. It can be from Raw, SmackDown, NXT, ROH, AEW. Who would you bring with you, and which title would you go after, and what brand?
Man, see, I back in the day, like I said, I like Ted DiBiase when he was wrestling. He was wrestling for IRS, the Moneymakers. Actually, Money Inc. actually is what they were, and they were one of the top teams in the division. I mean, I liked Legion of Doom, Road Warriors, whatever you wanted to call them, whichever company they worked with. If I was to pick one wrestler that would carry me through a match, because I'm not going to be able to wrestle, this guy's going to have to carry me.
Also, it can be from SRG as well. Just throwing it out there.
Oh, I'm going to go. I'm going to have to go with one of the great technical wrestlers I know. Let's see. Oh my goodness, man! When it has to come down to just straight technical wrestling and abilities, I'd probably want to wrestle Dean Malenko as a tag team and go for, the old WCW tag team titles or even the old NWA titles that actually look better than some of the new titles.
I agree to that part. I definitely agree. And here's another question to ask you, Dale, sir. Can you give me your 5 top favorite mixed tag team? I will help you out with 5, and you can pick out 2 best tag. we have Kenny Mam and Dan Hughes, the Kenny family, BOSS and Sage, me, and you might not know my girlfriend, the Nightmare Queen, but she will be debuting soon. And the other last final team that's mixed would be none other than Mr. GM Calais and his girlfriend. And
Man,
you have, and
you missed
you
one good
are
team in there that you missed Mysterious and Loudmouth. Those two, I think, could run the board in anybody on a tag team because they're just in sync with each other. But when it comes down to it, my money's on Candyman and Candyman Dan to get the job done.
okay, bro. You could add yourself to it with your girlfriend if you have one. But okay, I accept that one. But thanks anyways, man.
All right. Yep. Hey, that doesn't prevent you from having a girlfriend too. Just letting you know.
When she's in the house, it does.
But yeah. So I mean, I would have went with GM Calais and the Concrete Jungle Warrior because it's GM Calais and who doesn't? He's the
I
best
don't
guy
know.
to
I didn't know he had a
rarely ever play
girlfriend,
the game.
so.
Yeah.
And like I said, I've never really seen Calais play anything. He's like the mouth of SRG right now. I mean, I haven't seen him play a game, so.
Yeah, he
I played against him and Gropar in a tag tournament. I was tagging with Dottie, and we were this close to beating them, but they got us.
yeah. Oh, Dottie's great.
Yeah.
If she played more, she'd be like one of the top players.
She's very smart. Very, very smart.
She is. All right. Let's see. People were happy about the little big screen when Angela disappeared, and you were on like two wide screens.
What? What happened?
I was my own what is it, Girthquake card at one point in time, I
Yes.
guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, when your camera went off, he went to being two screens next to each other, and
Oh,
it,
sorry, guys.
it's not that bad of a match. I just didn't feel like fixing it at that point. But Woolsey the Wolf or Huskus the Cow coming from the bodybuilding.
Man, that's a name I haven't heard in a while. Let's see. Woolsey the Wolf is a lawyer, and Huskus the Cow is just chocolate eater. I don't like
Yeah.
dealing with lawyers, so I'm gonna have to go with the chocolate eater.
Okay, it makes sense. He kind of reminds me of Huskus the Pig a bit, but
Yeah.
it's just they're both tasty. Young Allergy would like to know: do you have another competitor lined up for heavy play after chamomile tea?
Man, chamomile tea is like one of my fun plays. And ever since when Alex Hammerstone came out, is an easy conversion, just changing up the skills. It's similar. Alex Hammerstone, I think, could just thin out the deck a little faster than what chamomile tea does, because chamomile tea just puts it back on the bottom of the deck. But it has the benefits also. But chamomile tea has very strong finishers, so she helps out where she gives up in some of her ability. Her finishers are strong. It's kind of hard to beat those. But after chamomile tea and let's see, I don't have anything picked yet. I've been challenged to try something new. I mean, we're coming up here to Faction Wars soon, so I'll probably be trying something new again. I mean, I made SRG Boss version 2 actually be on the map because I ended up playing them last season in Faction Wars 2, won more games than some of the guys that are currently playing them. So I mean, I can't complain. I got him up to fourth, to at least top 3 with Faction Wars with him. So I must have done something right,
I mean, was it top 3?
Top 3 or 4, because we lost to this group
Oh
called the
yeah.
Line.
I mean, that's the problem though. It's like they don't do a playoff between the third and fourth teams.
Yeah, I know that's kind of weird. I thought
weird.
it should have happened.
Yeah.
Like I said, top 3, top 4.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it's better to say you're tied for 3 than top 3, top 4. So yeah,
Hey,
we'll go with the top 3.
Allergy.
Yeah.
Hey, quit talking about old characters I used to play and love still to play. That might happen. Phantasm may come back.
Especially
Still
if
trying
you
to
have
find
the good
that.
grapple.
I'm trying to find a good grapple. That's the one I've been missing. The grapple with the technique on it too.
Oh yeah, I have one of them in my train binder.
You haven't told me that, man. We gotta talk.
Because I've been only using my trade binder in person. No one
Oh,
bothers
okay.
to look. Because I have 2 phantasms in there, and no one bothers to look at the finishers on any of them.
Dude,
One
let's talk.
one has the right one has the wrong one. But
Right.
yeah, we can probably talk. It's hard to trade with me
Okay.
because I don't need anything now.
Man, I can send Matt Nealon to give you a hug if that'll make it. You
No
know,
hug.
No, don't
no
even.
hugs. How about Candy from Candyman? Will that work?
No, tried it. Tried hugging him.
I
and
don't
I'm
eat candy either.
That's right. How about some water ice then from Wawa?
What?
He likes
You can't
fried
get
pickles.
water ice at Wawa. I mean,
Get
he
him
probably
fried
could, but they
pickles.
don't make it. That's disgusting. I mean,
I'm just joking.
their food's barely
At
edible.
least I didn't tell you to go to Pat or Gino's to get a steak. Come on.
Yeah, you know, Matt Haas was down here visiting, and someone actually gave him from Philadelphia told him to go to one of those, and
Oh, I am so sorry.
I felt
Did he
bad.
survive?
Yeah, I don't think he went. I think he took other people's advice and went elsewhere.
Okay, good.
But
You know, Pat and Gino's, you go just to look at all the tourists.
yeah, basically.
That's pretty much it. You know, because I talked to Fox here. I do have family up in the Philadelphia area. They tell me where to go to get the real stuff. So I trust them. Even though I do want to go to the Permani Brothers and have one of their sandwiches because it's a heart attack on a slice of bread.
All right. Chibi Black Templar would like to know: has someone asked when Master MICAH will be in the game yet? No, no one asked that yet.
No,
So-
no one has asked it.
And now you are now.
I am actually in the game currently already on a trio, the Bootleggers Club.
Mhm.
I'm the guy with the green vest, pants, and the light brown shirt. Going back to some of my Irish roots, I decided to have him look like he's a member of a crew of the Peaky Blinders and Bootleggers. You know, that's always been
I love that show.
synonymous together. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to hopefully coming out with the tag team next with me and my friend and the guy in the middle. That's his name is Kevin Blazam Jr. on SRG. He's the one that got me into the game. And then of course, if I ever get because you know it seems like everybody in Dangerous World Order except me has won a created character. I have to go out and win a created character in order to get myself in the game.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, those things are pretty easy to win. So. The problem being is
if it's Sierra or D2, yeah.
A lot of them tends to be in Ohio. So again, another problem with Ohio is like all our CACs go to Ohio. It's weird.
You know, I feel bad for you, man. Right now you're having to go to the Garden State, New Jersey, and then you've gone to Ohio, which is the other.
And I'll have to go back to
man.
Ohio for Origins too.
Oh man, I may actually have to try to make Origins one of these years.
Fox, can I get a hug from you in Origins?
Probably not. But the one good thing about Origins is that I'm old enough to remember when Origins used to be in like other cities, like Philadelphia and stuff, in the '90s, and then for some reason they got stuck in Ohio.
Yeah, I'm a little
the singles is coming, hopefully.
I was hoping it'd be like a different state that I haven't been to yet.
Yeah.
Like Oklahoma, she wants some of the pizza that I showed her this weekend.
I know.
Has it got approved by the New York contingent of the Super Show on whether it's real pizza or not?
Oh, it doesn't matter what they think. It's good because it's from a guy that you know his family's from Italy. They've been champions in the I forgot what they in Kansas City. There is a championship of dough the dough circus or whatever they call it. It's some weird thing. And they have been in the top with the flinging the dough and spinning it and stuff. So it's all hand spun dough. So you're getting the perfect shaped pizza, thin crust. You get the nice little snap on the
one bite. Everyone knows the rules
on the crust. Yeah.
I'll see what the rating is up on that app. One bite app. See if it's you know, because that guy apparently has a very big following on pizza reviews. Who cares? Yeah. Chibi's saying the trios needs finishers, which I believe is in the pipe work.
2.
Usually they need 3, but you know they're only getting 2.
Well,
so haha.
No, it came down to bad timing. I lost a freezer when I was trying to get the third one, so I had to replace the freezer before I placed the card game.
So if the third finisher ever comes out, it's going to be called the freezer, in memory of the freezer that was lost.
I don't want to remember that. Nope.
I mean, it's only bad if there was like stuff in the freezer that went bad.
Oh yeah, over
hard.
like $600 worth of food. So that's another reason why.
That's not fun.
No, still paying for it.
Young Allergy is saying it's honestly a solid finish name, the freezer.
Only if I put a black and, or sorry, dark blue and white jersey and had the number 72 on it, then it would be a great freezer.
Yes, that's my favorite GI Joe.
That's right. He was on there, wasn't it?
He was, yes, he was a member of the GI
Yes.
Joes. He had a figure too.
Yep.
Uh,
I forgot all about that. Thanks for
yeah.
reminding me of my childhood again, man.
Oh yeah, Refrigerator Perry, baby, best GI
Yep.
Joe ever. Better than Sergeant Slaughter, who
Oh,
after he
yeah.
became a GI Joe became a heel in the
I'm a heel. I know,
WWE, which
that's
was
funny.
which was hilarious that he was fighting for America in the cartoon form and then like being a member of the Iraqi army in the TV. It was weird.
Oh man,
Very
Iron
weird.
Sheik, another great. That guy had one of the best camel clutches in the game.
Sure, sure. Yeah, he'll break your back. He'll humble you.
And Miro has one that just looks like he's killing the person when he does his.
His is a little comical at this point when he's just like,
Just spinning be fall over
yeah,
backwards. I know
yeah.
it's not as good,
Yeah, it's
but
not as impressive in my opinion. I know it's supposed to be. It just doesn't like.
right.
It's not the same. It's not the same. Though to be fair, I'm more of a fan of a Steiner recliner
Oh yeah, that
because
back
when
old
you get a
school tag
genetic
teams
freak,
again,
when you get a genetic freak with those arms who can't do math,
locking it
of
in.
course. College educated athlete, there, friends. College educated athlete. Remember that whenever you hear his math promo.
Now
College
remember, his
educated
brother
athlete.
though has gone on to become a very successful real estate dealer and has more money than he ever did
Oh yeah.
than when he was wrestling.
Oh, yeah. Oh, of course. Wrestling doesn't pay. All right.
Okay.
Rhyming names are some of the best. Yeah. Yes, that's why the Steiner recliner is good. Good, good point, Allergy. All right, so we got about 13 minutes left in the show, folks.
Ooh.
So get your final questions in if you can, and you should be able to because like it's all you have to do is either type or ask. Uh,
I'm not the popular guest today.
you're
I'm
popular
no
to some.
Steve.
Oh yeah, well Steve's no Steve. He thinks he is, but he's not that important.
Oh man, no, Young Allergy. I have not been able to find a Bulldog root beer yet. I know we had a long conversation about root beer and grilling back on Memorial Day. We were actually had to play one of our matches in Faction Wars.
Oh,
Speaking of, that's
no
how.
sarsaparilla,
Oh, we talked about sarsaparilla, and we also talked about
birch beer.
there's a place in Atoka, Oklahoma, which is called Pops 60 on 66 because it's off Route 66, but it
Yeah.
has over 300 soda selections to choose from when you
Okay.
go in there, and you can do your own pick six carry out. Like so, you can just choose which six you want, pay for them, and go.
Mhm.
And I showed him that, and he's like talking about kitty piddle and stuff like this. I'm like, you can go, you do you, man. I don't want the kitty piddle. But he was really or he was actually interested in a lot of the root beers they had.
It seems like more of a Nico thing, kitty piddle. Seems like I'm actually more of a birch beer person over root beer though.
Oh, they do have a bunch of birch beer up there too. They have.
Pennsylvania Dutch birch beer, very popular.
Well, you can't really fault the Amish in making good stuff.
I don't actually think it's made by actual Amish. Pennsylvania Dutch is a very loaded word. I mean, it doesn't actually just
Right.
apply to Amish.
Right, but I mean that's. I mean, don't know what my kids are doing outside. It's weird.
Yeah.
My wife and my daughter are outside looking around. And I'm like, what's going on out here?
Uh-oh.
Oh, they're having fun without you, causing trouble.
No, I think they're trying to see what kind of damages were done to the retaining wall around the shed.
Oh, that's not good.
Nah, it's just age deteriorating the cinder or
Yes. Don't we all
concrete.
deteriorate with age,
Yeah.
unfortunately?
Unfortunately, yes.
Some of us, it feels like quicker than others.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So people aren't popping in with questions. So, so you talked about. For your character, what kind of gimmick would you go for? Something brand new or a variant of an old one?
I've played a lot of card games. I've been in and out of Magic, and I know a lot of people know that one and what it's done. I kind of like how chamomile tea works. She's kind of like a scry. She gets the ability to look at the card, and then bury it, and then draw another card. I mean, I kind of would like something that works off of maneuvers, not just a roll, because sometimes you don't get the roll you want. But I like to, like Taz is one of the great suplex guys. I think, like if I hit a suplex, I can look at the top card of my deck, choose to either put it on my hand or put it on the bottom of my deck. I think something like that, because if you look at it as suplex, the perfect stalling suplex is you take that moment, catch your breath, and then drop the guy. So that gives me the chance to maybe look at what I need and then go on to the next one, is how I see it. So it would be kind of cool. And then paying homage to some of the guys that came to wrestling before, I'd probably have like Wahoo Lariat, or Wahoo or Wahoo Daniels Lariat as like a finish strike, and then Dr. Dusty Williams or Dangerous Backdrop as a grapple, and then one of the old Japanese Indian. It was an Indian Deathlock Cobra Clutch submission, and it just looks like the guy's dying when he's trying to get out of that submission maneuver, because he has nowhere to go, because he basically got a knee to the back, your legs are in the Indian Deathlock position, and the guy's Cobra clutching you. So there's not much movement there.
Yeah, definitely be a very brutal maneuver to put on someone. So
But
are
the
you
danger, if you ever seen some of the old, go ahead.
oh yeah, no, I was gonna say, are you more in the camp of weaker gimmick, more powerful finishers, or the powerful gimmick, weaker finishers camp?
I'm still learning. I know I've been in the game for over a year, but I'm still learning it. I'm still trying to find out what I'm comfortable with playing. I've shown. I find myself playing with the strong finishers are good. I mean, it helps me not have that heartache of, I hit my finisher finally and then, oh crap, somebody broke out. I kind of like the whole cover your bottom, kind of like what I know Fireballs likes to coin it a lot, cover your ass, whatever. I also kind of like when it hits, it sticks. So if I'm going to hit it hard, I want to make sure it hits with the top numbers, so it's harder for you to break out. I'm not a big fan of the you get one breakout roll, have fun, Rising Sun. It's never fun to get hit by that, and yeah.
More fun in the sun. Come on.
I think there should be. I mean, there'd be a good chance for a good spectacle there to help out, giving you that one extra breakout. Or if your breakouts are reduced by a certain number, you get a +1 or +2 to your breakout roll. So that way, it's like, hey, you're gonna make it harder for me. I'm gonna do everything I can to muster the strength to get out of this, and that'd be a great spectacle that boss could do. Because I think people would love to play it, because then it wouldn't have that heartache, or what is it, the heartburn from getting hit by a rising sun or a break check or whatever it is for a Mac attack on her finish.
Yep.
I mean, they're all great finishes. They're strong finishes, but when you have a strong finish with a strong ability, that to me is not cool. And there's a few of those characters out there that have that, and then there's some characters that have great finishers but not a great ability, and that's the balance in them. But it's hard to find that right balance. So I would want at least one hard hitting finisher, and then a utility, and then a break even. Something that is just even the road. So if it goes to crowd meter 1 or crowd meter 2, that then becomes something of a harder finish to stop.
A lot of love for the banishment of reduced finish rolls from Epsilon, Young Allergy. And
Allergy's been hit by a few of them
yeah.
himself, I think.
And Cannoli is also pointing out that you could always roll in with the Ring General if you want an extra breakout roll.
Well,
Match.
the ring general never sent me a ring general, so
Yeah.
I can't roll in with no ring general.
Yeah, fair. I mean, some
I
people
thought he
have.
was my friend, but obviously
either.
he hasn't done anything, hooked a brother up or anything. He hasn't really talked to him. I think he's upset that that our matches are too good and that we have so much fun playing each other, that he doesn't want to reward me for having great matches with him.
Makes sense. Makes sense. That could be it. I mean, he could either that or
Well,
he
what's
just
his
doesn't like it.
excuse for me? Because I hooked him up in Ohio. So where's mine,
Oh wow,
cannoli?
you hooked him up in Ohio.
Yeah.
Scandalous.
Yeah, you hooked him up in his own home turf.
Yeah.
And he
Mm-hmm.
didn't give you a gift for visiting. Oh, wow.
Nope. I hooked Fox up too.
That's Ohio hospitality.
She did. Of course, I haven't
And
had
fun
anything
people.
released in time to hook you up with. So
And she hasn't hooked me up either, so it's okay.
oh, you don't have a back by the rack?
No, I got one. I got one in a mystery pack, but I didn't get one from her. No.
It's funny because I asked Dan if you had one, and he said yeah. So
Cannoli is trying to say, did he not buy you a birthday gift, Angela?
he did. He bought me Starbucks. I forgot about that.
Oh,
You're
that's straight to her
forgiven.
heart. Starbucks and Dunkin'.
He bought me coffee on my birthday. It was awesome.
Okay, so
Probably she didn't have any Hortons while she was up there.
Though now that
Mm.
he's equating the birthday gift to you giving her something, it's not as wholesome. Because that's kind of weird in my opinion. But yeah, I got it back by a rack. I have one of the dies too. It's rack dies. Back by the rack is a great entrance. I like using it. It's a lot of fun.
You know what? It's stronger than we ever thought it would be.
Oh God.
We didn't expect as much love out of it as we got.
I mean, it wins you a turn. I mean, and
Yeah, it's been game changer
Yeah,
for
it
many.
lost me a game against the Grump on winning a 6-stop challenge. So, thanks,
Yeah.
Ange.
Sorry, man.
oh,
I
maybe
could have
it
been the
wasn't
guy that
Ange's
beat the
fault.
Grump this year.
Maybe it was Dottie Dart's fault because you didn't give her enough respect because you don't know her well enough as a favorite in the
Maybe.
backpack.
Me and Dottie have been talking. We're beginning to get to know each other a little bit.
Ooh.
But she's a special person, and she deserves the attention she deserves. And I wish her nothing but the best of luck. And she's cool. I'm cool.
Cool.
You almost say that in a way as if like people thought you weren't cool. Like, so what's the tea?
What's the tea?
Yeah.
I mean, if we go back to like shows here, one of my wife's favorite things, because she loves that whole How I Met Your Mother. She's like, "Where's the shit?" It's like, "Where's the shit?" Because it stinks in here. And where's the shit? And so you gotta be careful, man. And where's the tea? Something like that too. It's like, okay, you gotta clean it up, man.
Spill the tea.
Spill what tea? What am I spilling?
Do you have any juicy DWO gossip?
No, I don't.
I mean, that's the right answer in that. I mean, we don't like. No one's gonna start asking you in the forums randomly for gossip about your fat. Oh wait.
They do.
That's all they do.
That literally happened like within the last week. So yeah, okay.
Yeah.
No, it's kind of funny though when I wasn't announced. All the conversations I heard, about certain players it was fun listening. I'm like, really? Is that what you think? Okay, that's cool.
Oh, like people talking smack and not knowing they were in your faction.
Right, and it's kind of fun because you're listening to all these conversations. You're like, oh, really? I don't see that. No, he's pretty cool,
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out.
Because all right. So here's something. A lot of people may not like Chris Pate, and that's because he's really focused on trying to get what he wants. He knows what he can do. He knows what his deck can do. But once you get past that, it's kind of like that whole Shrek and Donkey conversation that you had to get past that first layer of the onion. And there's the heart. Man, Pate's a nice guy. Once you get to know him, he's the nicest guy.
I think you're preaching to a choir here, though. I mean, this is.
I told him in the beginning. I said, Chris, I thought you were like the biggest
jerk
ever.
Well, no, I mean, going back to my first game ever, in that tournament, on June 3rd, or June 12th, excuse me. That was my first tournament ever I played. I played Andrew Meckie, Chris Pagillo, Jonathan Thew, Bob Dunn. Beat all four of those gentlemen and just had nothing but respect for each one of them because they taught me different things about the game. Then I ran into Chris Pate, and if I had known about countouts, I probably would have won, but I didn't know about countouts and lost to Chris Pate, and then I had to play some guy from FCW, which I wasn't not too happy about, but not bad for my first game ever to go third place.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And against those guys,
wacky TJ
Marconi Crime Wave stipulation match.
When,
now the funny
Power
thing
Bomb
is that
online.
TJ Marconi enjoyed the fact that I played kick to the corner with Mr. Snap at a 7 and was hitting people with it who had a 6 agility.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I like doing that when I have a power 10.
Because of the four corners match possibility. Yep.
I mean a power 7.
That's what I was in there for.
7 seals.
Yeah.
They're like, what? Yeah. It works. You have a power 5.
Yeah, and actually
Yeah.
almost won Micah the thing because it was an extra corner for him in that match.
Yep.
Mhm.
I was only one corner away from winning. I was like, no.
Yep.
Had to
It
get
was
one
an
more.
interesting play. All right, so it's 7:30, so we should be wrapping up. But Christy instituted a new thing at the end. The guest gets to ask the host a question. So you can ask Angela a question and myself a question to end the show.
All right, Angela. Since you asked, and you know you're going to get yourself in trouble because you put yourself out there for this. Going back to our first match, what did you honestly think of me when I first played against you?
What did I think of you as a person?
Yes.
I thought you were really nice. You were actually, I was very pregnant. I was very emotional. I was lonely because it was the COVID era and I couldn't see my family. And you were so nice and sweet. And I was able to just like forget about real life and just play. And you were patient. I didn't know that you were new. That's the funny thing. I didn't realize you were a new player till probably weeks later because the way you played, you were knowledgeable and yeah, I had a great experience with you.
Awesome.
Now I think you're a fucking asshole, but
Where's
I'm
my
just
fucking
kidding.
Scoodles? Come on, where's my Scoodles? I still need my lime Scoodles. You got to
You
hook
get them,
up in a
you'll get
candy
them in
store.
person. That's our deal. You're gonna get them in person.
All right. I don't know if the lime Scoodles will be around by then, but who knows?
Who's to say I haven't bought them already?
Yeah. And Mr. Foxworthy, we've been through this kind of. You've been a little longer than I have in the game,
A little bit.
but we pretty much had this. We've been tied since June, pretty much of last year. We've played in a lot of matches. We've hung out. We've been in the same crowds and out of the same crowds. What's one thing that you think SRG could do to make the game more friendly to new players?
Ooh, God. One thing they could do to make it more friendly to new players is a very tough question, mostly because
The community does a lot already for new players.
yeah,
That's
and the thing is, is it a question of getting them into the game or getting them to do well in the game? Is a
Right. I
getting
think
them
that's
into
what
the
it is.
game. What
getting
is
it.
it trying to get new players into the game, trying to build that community
Yeah,
outside of the online?
so it's hard for me to judge that accurately, being as like I was only in the game for playing it for a month or two before pandemic hit, so I don't really know. But mostly, it's hard because they have a two different target audiences: card game players and wrestling fans. That they hit a lot of conventions that hit the card game people and the gaming people, but as of recently, they haven't been hitting a lot of the wrestling fans. Like so, like hitting that up and getting people into it because they like wrestling is probably a really solid choice too. But I think they did it in the past because they always talk about how they went to like Impact tapings and things like that. But it's
In the House
not
of Glory and stuff
yeah,
like
in
that.
House of Glory. So it's hard to like, but I don't think they do it like as much as they did previously. But then again, we're in a pandemic, so it's really hard to like answer that question
Well,
honestly and give you like a really good like solid answer because of the pandemic
right. I'm finding it
aspect.
hard too to find new players and stuff. It's hard to
Yeah,
pull people from one game that they've invested so much into to possibly get a chance to invest in another game.
yeah.
It's kind of tight. I mean, it's cool that the community tries to help out to get past that first hurdle,
Mm-hmm.
but then how long do they really say? I know for me, I mean, I got welcomed in by a lot of great people. I got welcomed in by, um, like I said, our Young Allergy sent me something right off the bat. He played for me the first time on Dojo. Cannoli got kicked out of the crime wave on my first time on the Dojo, so it's kind of funny to see that. Um, then Keith Strader reached out to me one night, said, "Hey, look, you're a new player. Um,
That would have been
are
way
these competitors
before.
somebody that you're interested in?"
That would have been way before June. He got kicked out in the end
He
of
got kicked
April.
out in May. I
Yeah.
was watching in
Yeah.
May, but I played
Okay.
in June.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
Alright.
So I mean, I was building something so I can actually play a deck to actually be in a tournament. So that's my first chance to actually play in a tournament. So Keith Strader hooked me up, and then you started teaching me about independent wrestlers that I didn't know about, or wrestlers that have been in the business, because I got out of wrestling after Raw Deal, pretty much, when I felt like I got set off sides to the curb by Raw Deal because I invested so much in it, and then they had to reset. Which I know games have to do this, but as a collector, that's the worst thing. So I've come into this game not as a collector, just as a player.
Yeah.
So I'm looking for the cards to help me play, help me get better.
Mhm.
That's all I'm doing, really. So
Yeah.
I'm Johnny Gargano was one of the big guys that you told me about, and I've got to play him, got to understand him, watched a lot of his old matches. The guy is a phenomenon. I mean, he is a hard worker too, and he has that technical ability. That's the type of wrestlers I like. And then um, we've had conversations. We actually watched a house show together
Oh God,
on
yeah,
Twitch one day,
yeah, not that long
and we were
ago.
just laughing like, "Hey, there's Matt Haas. He's wrestling." Woo!
I
And
think
the guy looked like Matt Haas and
no, I
everything.
think the best was the ambush with the pineapple that happened on the show.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, when it's
yes,
like,
the
oh my
pineapple
God, they
weapons come
actually
to
just
life.
did the ambush with the pineapple art in a real wrestling match, and the Neil Nealon one, the one where it's the posterior insertion of the pineapple attempt.
Yes, they
Yeah,
they they rammed him with the pineapple in the buttocks,
yeah.
and I was
So
like, that's just wrong. It's
yeah, and it's like, oh
but
my God, they're stealing from Super Show. Yeah, that was a pretty good. That was
Yeah,
a fun
well,
card.
that's good.
absolutely.
I forget the promotion. I think it was a New England promotion, but it was a fun one.
Yeah, I was out of the East Coast there.
Yeah.
And just watching those things, and then my friend again that got me into the game, had me go back and watch some of the older wrestling. I've caught up on MLW, some of their stuff. Fatu is phenomenal. His brother Sifa, who was actually in the Vegas leagues, is now a free agent,
Yeah.
and he's actually the big companies are looking to pick him up, and I'm hoping he doesn't go to the "I got six moves and that's all I can do" promotion. Because watching the old Brian Danielson stuff, he did more than he did in
Oh yeah.
WWE when he was in independent.
Oh yeah. I
Same
mean,
thing
Ring of
with
Honor was amazing.
I'm not a big fan of Adam Cole, but his older stuff I love because he was able to do more. Ring of Honor is one of my favorites. I love that pure wrestling matches they have
Yep.
because that's more of your technical
Oh
grappling,
yeah.
and you can't strike
It's a
a
beautiful thing.
closed fist. It's actually old school wrestling
Yeah.
to me because you grab the ropes to break out or tap out and you lose, or get pinned and voila. But
Yep. I actually have tickets to both
Jonathan
nights of
Gresham is one of my
Glory by Honor.
favorites. His octopus hold, Jonathan Gresham's octopus hold is one of the best I've seen in the industry, and I've seen a lot of people put it on, especially because it's an old school wrestling move.
Yep.
I'm not a big fan of. I mean, I like Williams, but I don't like his name, Hot Sauce Williams. I think it doesn't seem right for him. But he's also on those technical. The
Yeah.
foundation, I guess, is what that group is.
Yeah. I think Tracy
That's really
Williams
awesome.
was better when he was an anamorphic ant because I believe
Oh, and
he
then
was a green
and
ant.
that's in the Chikara, right?
Yep. Yeah. He was a green ant in Chikara. Fire ant was Orange Cassidy, and soldier ant was Drew Gulak.
Oh man, Drew is a wasted talent right now in WWE.
Oh
He needs
yes.
to be away from that area. If anybody needs to go somewhere, it's Drew Gulak because he's not going to be ever used to his fullest potential in WWE. Sure, the money's nice, but you're going to be worked like a dog. Brian
Yeah.
Danielson just proved that you don't have to be worked like a dog and still get the money because he's getting everything he wants with AEW pretty much. He gets the ability to go to Japan to wrestle there. He gets the ability to wrestle less shows in America and still get paid the same amount of money he was getting paid at WWE. And he
Yeah.
has control, a whole or freedom of his character, so he's not under restrictions or anything like that. So I mean, it's gonna be awesome. And when they finally debut him, and I never really got to see CJ or CM Punk wrestle, or I never even watched the Pipe Bomb because it seems like it was too overhyped. But I know who he is. I've seen some of his indie work. I've seen some of his ROH, his MLW
Yeah.
stuff, but I haven't really saw him wrestle in WWE, and I think I'm grateful for that. I guess
Yeah.
because I don't think they ever use him potentially like he should either.
Yeah, it's tough to say because the beauty of Punk isn't his wrestling; it's his mic
His
talking,
mic work, yeah,
and
I think he's one of the best talkers.
they did use that well in WWE for him. So it's hard to say he wasn't used well there. He wasn't treated well. Would be more
Well,
his problem
the
there.
the stories I've heard is when he had a concussion and they gave him a bunch of
Z-Packs, yeah.
drugs, yeah,
Yeah.
to get over it, and then he ended up crapping his pants the next night during the match. I mean, that's mistreatment of talent to me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and that I have a problem with, and that's why I'm not a huge fan of WWD. I haven't been to a WWE house show since Chris Jericho and Batista, and seeing Batista in person was awesome. The guy was like a big goofball. If you ever get a chance to have seen Batista, he loved the crowd. He was an all around nice guy when I met him and talked to him. But meeting Goldberg was kind of cool because he actually lives in a house three houses down from me when he lived in Tulsa. So it was kind of cool to see him when he came home from his wrestling trips and we came into Tulsa and stuff like that. Hanging out with his friends and stuff after the matches. He was a nice guy. I mean, he'll tell you flat out what's wrong though. I mean, he'll tell you straight. And I think that's the Oklahoma Texas trait. I mean, we don't beat around the bush. We'll tell you if we don't like you or not.
Fair. All right. And with that,
Sorry,
we're no,
I mean to
it's
make you go late.
it's not a problem. I don't have anywhere to be. But with that, we will call the show off. Thank you for coming on. It was a great show. Thanks for helping
Well,
out
thank you
again,
for having
Angela,
me.
and
Oh,
booking
my
people.
pleasure.
So we're
And
gonna have Sean the collector next week, right? We're gonna try to get him so we can make it a DWO month. No.
Has he been a guest yet?
he has not.
Oh, then yeah, we would love to have him.
Yeah.
You got to find him in the outside of his busy schedule. I mean, that guy
Right,
works
yeah.
nonstop, 24/7.
Yeah.
The hardest worker the hardest worker in SRG is Scott Prime, but the hardest collector in SRG is the collector.
Makes sense. All right, folks. We will hopefully catch you next week because who knows? This has been a very crazy month, but we'll catch you all next time. Later.